All right, hey there. Sorry about that. Running just a few minutes late here. I'm Chris Franks with Texas West Capital. And man, it's Friday, the 18th of March, 2022, and I'm coming at you live from a beautiful, bright, sunny, but windy day out here in Bertie, Texas. Hopefully you guys are doing all right. Oh, man. Just what a series of events, right? So we've got a lot going on in the markets right now. You know, it's kind of funny. I say kind of funny, maybe I shouldn't say that. There are a lot of similarities between 2008 and right now in with what the Fed is doing. You know, there as we were getting into 2008, they were projecting all these rate hikes and whatnot. We're getting that right now. You know, I think there's like a projection of 7 more or something like that coming up here pretty soon, right? We had our first interest rate hike just recently. And you kind of know where what happened there, right? So if even if you weren't really paying attention back then, I think you know by now, especially if you're in the markets. I hope you do anyway. If not, go back and check it out. But a lot of stuff going on. Nothing's really changed as far as what I'm looking at. We've had a little bit of a rallying in a few things, but it's still way off those highs so far. So we would need to see more significant rallying to have me thinking, okay, well, maybe there's further upside. But we've got a lot of professionals out there calling the top. I put it in quotes. They're professionals. A lot of them working for the big banks and stuff like that. Not calling for a top, but calling for a bottom now, saying it's time to get in and ride everything to a new all-time high. But I think if you do that, you do it with the intent that you're looking to do a temporary thing. We're talking about stocks right here. But you look to get into it for a potentially just a limited time rally. And then if it continues on, you keep in with it. But I think if you're buying right now thinking you're going to get a new all-time high, I think that's a really dangerous way to go about it. So anyway, hopefully you guys are doing all right here. Who we got here already? We've got Oscar, we've got Nevlusian, Hank. What's going on, people? Mowgli is here, Crypto Mowgli. Header is here. Nevlusian, anybody else? Daniel Mendez, what's up, man? Blaze checking in from Georgia, from a rainy Georgia, he says. Man, I used to not live too far from there. I used to live in Jacksonville, Florida for a while. So probably right down the road from you there, Blaze. Data's here, Silvio checking in. What's going on, guys? Hey, listen, if you're listening and you haven't joined us yet, man, check us out. How to trade, or you can go to texaswestcapital.com and just click on this link right here. It'll take you to howtotradetowin.com and you can join us over there. By the way, if you do it, we've got a flash sale going on now through tomorrow. And that will get you, let me kind of put it up over here for you. That will get you this here. So, you'll get 50% off a biannual or an annual tier 3 membership. Like I said, do it over there at howtotradetowin.com. So significant savings. Normally month to month, you're paying $199 month to month. But if you jump on this, on one or the other, you're getting your monthly on an average of about 64 or 70 somewhat dollars, depending on which one it is. So, significant savings for what you would normally pay getting in there. And I'll tell you what, man, if you don't think it's worth it, I don't know what to tell you. I've posted a few of our members' winning trades here over the last few days. They've been so kind to share. So I've just copied and pasted, or I've taken a screenshot and pasted it there in that thread on my Twitter feed there at TX West Capital. And, the only thing I've kind of taken out of there is what technique they were using that I taught. So, this is just utilizing stuff that we teach you in Tier 3 every week, guys, every week. We hit up on something here last 3 weeks ago or so that everybody seems really, really excited about making just, money hand over fist with that. And so, if you join us, you'll get access to that all that weekly training there is recorded and archived, and you have access to it, so you can check it out. So, man, I don't know what to tell you. We do what we can, guys, to help you, make as much money as possible in a smart way, in an intelligent way, in a logical way, without the emotion, using proper risk management. And there's something to be said about being able to get into and out of a trade consistently, to be consistently profitable. Even more than making, like a lot of times when you first come into trading, you have this idea that you have to buy the absolute lowest price, you have to sell the absolute highest price, and you think, oh, wow, that's exciting, right? No, what's exciting is hitting again and again and again and again, hitting those wins, locking in that profit, letting time and compounding, increase your capital accounts. So anyway, we teach you all that. Tier 3, place to be. We'd love to have you there. Hopefully you guys will join in. We'd love to see you. Oh, you have to excuse me, I had a little bit of allergies today, but other than that, I'm all right. What's going on, Nexus? Good to see you, man. It's going great. We've had an absolutely crazy last couple of weeks at TWC. Tier 3 just knocking it just out of the park again and again and again. Our members there. So really loving it. Crypto Malglia, you said you locked in 175 pips on the Euro Aussie short using one of the techniques we taught. Man, still in the trade. That's fantastic, man. I love hearing that. That's so awesome. Let's see here. All right, guys. So let's see here. So what are we looking at? So we've got Bitcoin here, right? Yeah, Bitcoin. So, it's still kind of doing this kind of consolidation thing, but it's consolidating higher, right? So if we kind of zoom out here, you'll remember, or hopefully you'll remember. If you're new, you may not remember because you weren't here. But we're kind of looking at this as a large triangle, right? So if we zoom out here, we're kind of looking at this. We've upgraded the count here to wave 3 finishing up here, and then an A, a B, and a C of a triangle right now. We still got D and E to do. D is in progress, and of that, it's a WXY instead of an ABC. And so wave X appears to be a triangle here. Let me zoom in a little bit closer now. And so, again, wave X appears to be a triangle that appears to have completed down here at this swing low down here at around, what is that there? Around 37,560 and 40 cents. Since then, we've got a series of 1-2s here. We've got a 1-2, 1-2, and then within that, we've got a 1-2, 1-2. Now, I'm not a big fan of anything more than like a couple of 1-2s. So for me, usually it's a 1-2, 1-2. Anything more kind of says, well, maybe we've got something else going on. In this particular case, with the consolidation and then the recent triangle here, and everything's kind of consolidating upward toward this resistance, I think the count's correct. And I think, and if we do get a breakout through here, we should have a nice move up. Now, based on where wave 2 is, we have a minimum wave 3 target at 43,617, which gives us, the larger degree wave parentheses 3 target up here at almost the R2 pivot on the 1 hour. And that potentially leads to an overextension a little bit of a wave circle 3 target, next larger wave 3 here. Up here at around the yearly open at right around 46,200, 46,250, right in that area. So again, threes of threes of threes kind of thing, just breaking on out, give us an overextended larger wave 3 right here. 1, 2, 3 would be way up here toward, that 47, 48,000 maybe. So that's what I'm kind of looking at the moment. Now, I think what we have here, excuse me, is a flat correction as an A and a B, and then we have an ending diagonal for C. So of this, we have like a, maybe an ABC is a 1 and a 2, and an ABC is a 3 and a 4, and maybe an ABC is a 5. The breakout above it, remember this would be wave 4 here, so the breakout above that suggests that this would be complete right here at about the 61.8 retracement, solid wave 2. And so next thing we're looking for is a breakout above what would be subwave B here. So you have A, B up here at 41,486. We get that, we should be off to the races, heading up their minimum, like I said, initial target there at 43,617. We did print bullish divergence here on the 1 hour on this rally. You can also notice this large demand wick coming out of it. It's the 61.8. A lot of confluence saying, well, you know what? It looks like that may be the bottom on that. But we definitely want to see this continuing to fly higher here, right? Let me see, go. What's going on, Bitcoin Anarchist? Good to see you. Yeah, man, that's what I'm looking at. I think it's not doing anything to say that we're not bullish and, accumulation finishing out and whatnot there, both on the shorter time frame and the longer time frame. So the only thing that changes all this, guys, is if we get a drop back down here below this wave circle 2. If we drop below this wave parentheses 2, that kind of knocks out this part, but we really need to get below wave circle 2 here at 38,850 to kind of say, okay, maybe we've got what we would potentially have would be wave E. So we've got wave E of the triangle X here that completes here right now. But it's possible that we could have an ABC down and maybe an ABC up. So we're getting a triangle for wave E. A triangle for wave E. And that's still a possibility until we're pretty much, well, until we break out above wave D. Once we get above 42, 597, 84, then you can't say wave E triangle at all. So that's what we've got to get above to do that. But, again, it could be A down here, B up, and then C, and then D, and then E. But, we are looking like we want to rally here, so we'll see what happens, see if we get the breakout locally, and then right up there above wave D, which, again, will just pretty much lock in this count as it is here, or something really similar to it. We won't be able to look at that as a wave E triangle anymore. So, still some possibilities, but I think those varying possibilities are becoming less and less as we continue to rally here. So, yeah, man, I like the way it's looking so far. I like what's going on. I am long, again, I told you guys, another position here. Oh, let me see here. I am long from, trying to pull up the chart here real quick. I mentioned it on Twitter, but let me see here. 39,345. So, I had that lower position, and then it was late at night, a few nights back, and I was trying to set the limit for a stop loss for a take profit, and ended up accidentally closing out my position. Don't trade when you're tired, guys, or when you're drunk or anything like that. So I tried to get in pretty quickly after that, like I said, so I got this other position now. Don't forget, I also have that other position that I opened, let me see, on the other exchange here. That other long that I got, let me see if I can find out where it is here. That's going to take forever to load up now. But once that loads up, I'll tell you where that is. But it was from lower down. So you remember I had that open. That one is still open. I had the other one that I opened that I accidentally closed out the other night and then got back in with the position I have now, which is what I just mentioned to you. So I am long Bitcoin. I'm short the euro right now against the dollar. I'm short from 1.11295. So as of this morning, I was, I think it was about 100 and somewhat pips in profit. A little bit of that's been taken out this morning as we do this counter trend rally. But looking for that to break back down and head lower and continue lower. That entry was actually pretty close to the top up there. Let me see. So I got in at 1.11295. That top was 1.11375. So basically about 8 pips below the top there is when I got in. So we'll just look for that change here, and hopefully get that pretty soon and continue that down. And I will probably, if we can get that downturn here today through the rest of the day, I'll probably just hold that short. I don't normally hold positions, Forex positions open over the weekend, but I think it'll be, if we do get that reversal and head back down, it'll be a good confirmation that we're going to continue heading lower. I don't really have anything to worry about over the weekend. So a couple of good positions right now for what I'm doing. Yeah, no sleepy trading, man. It knock you up, man. Thankfully, I was in good profit, so it could have been worse, but man, it sucked because then I had to get in a little bit higher there, and I was like, ugh. But we're doing all right here, especially right now, trying to rally. What exchange can you manage multiple leveraged long positions, assuming they are separate at the same time? You can do that on Femix. Femix allows you to create sub accounts, 10 or 20 of them, I guess. So, yeah, you can do that with Femix. I'm not sure what other ones write off, but I assume probably some of you. I don't know. Maybe I don't want to step on my fingers here. I'm not really sure who else does it, but I'm sure there's probably other ones that do it as well. But I know you can do it on Femix. Chris Baker, what's up, man? Always good to see you checking in, buddy. So DXY, here's what we got here. Potentially Let's move up here. And by the way, Hank, if you're, my thing is, like I said, it's a different exchange. I've got two different accounts, on different exchanges that I'm long on. So, in case you missed that when I said that earlier, yeah, I don't know if that's why you were asking, but yeah, I do have it on two different exchanges. Those two longs. Oh, I know about it being late, man. Like I said the other day, knocked out of position. I was so frustrated with myself. I was like, come on, man. Anyway, so the dollar, I think we may have a flat correction that completed here for wave 4. And then we've got, this movement up and the pullback right now. Looking for that to rally back up above the swing high there. Gives us a minimum expected wave circle 5 at 100.487. So that's what I'm kind of looking for at the moment now. See if we can get that rallied up through there. Breakout above wave B here at 99.292 is going to add confidence to that count and should send us on the way up there. This count may need to be adjusted a bit for it to rally higher and to continue up. But for right now, this is good. This will be fine to where we're headed with there. So to that same extent, here's that euro, man. There we go. So we've got this here. I've got this as potentially a 1, 2, 3, 4. And so 4 was potentially the 50% area here. We're right there above it, hitting the 61.8. Could I maybe get 5 down? Maybe. But we'll see how this plays out here. Right now you can see this is an ABC heading up here. So if we get a breakdown below this swing low right here at 1.10244, that should add confidence to the count and send us down further. Like I said, I think this is only 4 here. We got 5 coming down because it makes sense that you get that first wave completion right around the ascending channel support. You've also got this large, I think that's the daily demand. Let me see here. Nope, not daily. What is that? Is it the 4-hour? Yeah, it's the 4-hour demand right here. So a good target is that EQ there right around 109.733 kind of area. So that's what I want to kind of look for as far as getting 5 down and then get the move back up. And so if that's the case, this is wave 4 in progress here. If we've topped out, wherever this tops out, that would say that wave 2 should, that would be that first target. So you get this move up, down, and then right back up to this area, most likely. And that gives you a 1, 2 headed down like this. Okay? So that's kind of what I'm looking at the moment. Like I said, I got in actually really well up here. Like I said, just 8 pips off that top there. So I've got a lot of cushion in here. So it's been a good rally this morning. 1 hour hasn't even hit overbought yet. 15-minute, though, of course, does show this as a, 1, 2 here. And then, this may be 1, 2, 3, 4. We may get a little bit higher up here. But it makes sense to get rejected around that 15-minute pivot. We shouldn't break into wave 1 up here. That's right there around 1.10888. I think if we do, that says, okay, maybe this is actually 5 waves down here. So 1, 2, and then maybe like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, it still gets you on a 3 there. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could do like a 1, 2, and then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gives you a 3, 4, 5, and now you got a 1, 2, 3, 4. But, I guess this would have to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right here, so a very small 4. And that's what kind of throws me off on that. It shouldn't, normally be so significantly smaller than the previous, the wave 2 there. But it could be. So, again, either way, 4 or, wave 2, and in either way should be finding that top somewhere around this pivot or where it's at here. And then looking for that move down. If it is wave 2, again, we're doing like a A, B, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and we get a 5, say, up here. All that would mean is we should have an impulsive breakdown through the channel there. Oh, let me see if we get that up there too. Actually, the 15-minute pivot up there. That'll give us a minimum expected wave 3 down here, 1.08598. So you got some options there, but that's what I'm looking for. The expectation is going to continue lower is why I didn't take profit here. Just going to let that one run for a bit. on that move there. Well, I appreciate you, Bitcoin anarchist, man. Not everybody feels that way. Everybody's got their their feelings, and some people never learn to keep their mouth shut. They ain't got nothing nice to say. Fortunately, that's all over crypto Twitter and everywhere else, right? As I love to say, too many kids today ain't never got hit in the mouth, so they don't know when to keep it shut, right? They don't know when to be respectful and just to appreciate life rather than be a leech on society, which is what you are if all you ever do is share just nonsense from your mouth. Really, you're just a pariah on society. It's awful. You can be better than that. Why choose? It's a choice to act that way. Why choose to act that way? I never get that. I understand from a psychological point why it happens, but I don't get it internally, how somebody can act in such a manner. Yeah, but people are what they're going to be. So as long as you don't expect much from them, you can't be disappointed, right? Mike Slane, what's up, buddy? Good to see you here. Blaze, you watched that Prechter presentation on oil? Man, glad you did. As always, guys, I kind of work with EWI a bit and share some of the stuff that they've got going on. I am currently, oh my gosh, I can't believe I don't know where I've got the time to do this. I haven't done much of it. But I passed that first Elliott Wave exam. And now I've got a couple more to go to get certified. And I went ahead and signed up to do that. So if you guys have any questions about that, if I think it's worth it or whatever, or kind of what to expect, feel free to, send me a message or whatever, and I'll let you know. It's expensive a little bit, I think this, the first one was, I don't remember how much, but the second one that I just signed up for with the final two tests is something like $1,500 or $1,600. So, why am I doing it? Because God, I'm just one of those guys. I like to collect achievements. I would make a great gamer, right? All this gaming and social gaming stuff today where you get rewarded for doing things. I don't do much of that at all, but I like to collect achievements. So there we go, right? Anyway, so here we are kind of with Euro USD. Baba, man. Yeah, let's talk about Baba real quick. Gosh, look at that. So last Tuesday, you guys might have remembered somebody asked about this, and I said, I was looking at the different counts coming down. I said, well, it looks like if anything, you've got at least a bounce coming in toward this area where we're kind of coming to. And I said, potentially, you've got a higher movement up. And sure enough, man, the next day there, so that was right there, the 15th, right? So that was Tuesday, and then gap up there the next day. Couldn't have planned it better if I tried, right? But yeah, so you've got kind of that move up there right now. Rallying up, looking for the breakout above the daily here to really kind of give you some movement up. Your next resistance should come here right around that 139.40 area. If you can get that breakout and follow through. Let's see here. If we're looking, let me see what we can see what we got going on here maybe. This looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it looks like a 1, 2. And 1, 2 working on 3 here heading up. So it's a 1, 2 or it's an AB heading up here right now. Locally, that wave 4, gosh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that wave 4 is probably coming. This wave 3, I'm sorry here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 here. It's probably coming close to an end around that 111 area. And then we'll get a pullback and then another breakout higher. See what we're looking at here. So then we'll probably get a pullback right here around 106 and a half right there. And then that will give us a target. Yep, give us a target up here of a R3 pivot, which is the 1 hour R3 pivot, which is right now, which, at the end of the day, that's going to reset for next week. But up there around 114.80, 115 kind of area. Just pop that in there. And so that would give you then, like I said, either this is going to be an A, B, and then that would be a C, a small C. Overextension here on the A leaves you with a small C, or your 1, 2, and then this is 1 of 3. So if you get this move up here and then you break back down below this swing low, that'll suggest this is just an ABC heading lower. But if you get this right here, and so you get 1, 2, you get that 3 up here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and break it higher for a 5, and whatnot. You just kind of, I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it gives you a 1, 2, and then you continue up. That'll say this is probably a 1, 2 heading up that way. Sorry, it's the end of the week, guys. It's been a very long week, a lot of hours worked, but nonetheless, all you're looking for is, do you get it? If you get a drop down below this swing low here, you're probably headed, lower down here, new lows. If you're dropping below 95.80. But as long as you continue, above it, you should look at this more and more as maybe a 1, 2, 3 potentially. So just some kind of thoughts on that. Can I look at oil and gold? Of course I'm going to look at oil and gold. As a matter of fact, look at that. There's gold. Let me see here. Bill, what's up, man? So the clocks in Texas just have changed as you've started an hour earlier for the UK. I detest daylight savings time change. Yeah, you and me both, buddy. I was complaining about that last Tuesday, earlier this week, about the change. It just, at this point in time, it makes no sense anymore. We've got, electricity and we've got light, and, you don't need the extra hour of daylight to work your farms anymore. So here in the U.S., Arizona and Illinois don't follow this daylight savings times. The other states do, though. And I'm so looking forward to the day they actually get rid of that nonsense. I don't like the government stealing an hour of my day while I'm sleeping on a Sunday, man. That's awful. Sunday morning. I don't care if they give it back to me at the end of the year. That sucks. It sucks that they steal it in the first place. Leave me alone. Anyway. You pretty sure you heard that the U.S. were ridding the time change? I don't know. I think it's a big step for them to do it. People are so used to it. Even when they complain about they're so used to it. So I don't know if they'll actually ever do it. But, man, I would. I'm not much of a voter. I don't, I do my thing, man. I don't try to make life difficult for anybody else, which is what you do by voting. Because if you're going to give yourself special privileges, that means you have to necessarily take away stuff from other people. And I'm not all about that. But I'll tell you what, I think in that case, I probably would vote. I don't think it's really going to hurt anybody, but who knows? Anyway, government should be messing with that time anyway. So gold. Man, you guys get me on these tangents sometimes, man. I think we've got wave 1 complete here, and maybe wave B of 2 complete. So we're looking for a breakout above this descending red resistance. Say, okay, wave C may be in progress. Up here toward that 50% level at 1984.90 cents would be that first target I'd look for. Continuing beyond that, we'll look here at wave 4 resistance up here at around 2015. But that should be all it is, and to head on lower from that. Now, if we go from here, we continue to break down below here, then it may suggest that, I think it would suggest that maybe this is a 3 and a 4 of 5. So we got a little bit lower to go to finish 5 of 1, and then we get 2. If it does continue to break down through here. But as long as we get that breakout here and head up, first clue is breaking out above that descending resistance there. Second clue popping out above wave A. We should be looking for wave C again at 50%, 1984.90. Secondary target up here around, that 2010, 2015 kind of area. Now, silver shows that other possible count, which again, silver and gold should be following generally the same thing. So silver shows that other idea, but just another idea beyond that, okay, which says, okay, maybe we've got this as 1, 2, and then 1, 2 here. If we break out above this wave 2, that's going to suggest 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like we have with gold. And this is an A, a B, and a C, and we'll come on up here maybe around 26.24 or so. This kind of area up here, or 26.42. So if we get a breakout above wave 2, then we'll say, okay, this is 1, A, B, C is 2, and then we're headed down, kind of like we're looking at gold. If we continue down from here, we'll say, okay, maybe it's a 1, 2, 1, 2 here. And we'll see how that continues to play out from there. So it just kind of, at this point, it's, do we break out higher or do we continue with that downtrend? Either case, I don't see a real good argument at the moment for this being just corrective here and heading up. That could change if price, gets rallying up in this area, up here in this 20, almost 27 area. Then it could potentially change. But as it sits right now, I think it's still to the downside here. Oil. You love Elliott wave theory? Yeah, it takes a little bit to get used to it, but once you do, it gives you, as long as you understand that it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be exactly correct, right? That's the big thing. Too many people, they come in, they think, I'm going to do Elliott wave because it's going to tell me exactly where price is going every time, and I'm going to always be correct, and life's going to be good and easy. I'm going to be sipping, fruity drinks with umbrellas in them on the beach somewhere. That isn't how it works. The best way to understand Elliott wave is it gives you a grand idea of what the trend is and where it may potentially change. As a trader, guys, I can't say this enough. To simplify trading, really all you're looking to do is identify the trend, get in on that trend, and lock in profit before the trend changes. That's what you're looking to do as a trader. If you can do that consistently, you have no worries in the world about trading. I'm going to tell you right now. But people screw up and they have trouble trading because they go in and they try to buy the absolute bottoms and sell the absolute tops, and they think they have to get every freaking penny out of it, and you're just screwing yourself. You're just giving yourself a hard time with that, really. So yeah, hopefully I've made that clear to you guys. Okay. Kimosabi says it's just another tax. This one is a tax on time. No kidding, right? And I don't care. Like I said, I don't care. They rebate you at the end of the year. In November when it flips back, when it falls back, they shouldn't have taken it in the first place. Doggone it. That's time I could have used to maybe be more productive during that time, right? I do appreciate you, Bill, translating your Celsius into Fahrenheit for me. I do live in the U.S., so we do go on Fahrenheit. So when you tell me it's 19 degrees Celsius, my brain says, what? Is that cold? Is that hot? Looks like it's 66 there. So that's a pretty nice day, though, man. That sounds like a pretty nice day. Let me see here. Data, if it's about chocolate, I don't mind taking away from others. I'm really sorry, but with chocolate involved, it can't be helped. Oh, my gosh. You guys are a mess. Let me see here. Senate passes bill making daylight savings time permanent on Yahoo News. I'll have to check into that, man. We'll have to check in to see how that all is in there. What R21, what's up, man? He says, I think the best part of EW is that you can understand where price might go on the downside, especially. It can save a lot of money to newbies. It really can. But it's nothing you guys are going to learn overnight. I keep telling you, it's like any other skill. You have to work at it constantly, and not just work at it, but you have to work at it correctly. If you spend a year practicing something incorrectly, you're going to get better at doing it incorrectly, which means you're not going to get good at doing it correctly. So, there's a lot of stuff. New traders often come in. Again, I think the big thing with it is kind of like politics, it's kind of like religion. You don't need a degree to do those things. And yet they're very important, in terms of society. So people think, just because I can do it means that my opinions matter. No, they don't. If your opinions are wrong, they really don't matter, guys. And I don't mean that to be mean. I mean that to be realistic, okay? Again, it's that whole quote that I shared with you last time. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch last week, or I guess it was Tuesday's video. But, the idea is that you have, whether it's Elliott wave or Wyckoff or any other type of system or strategy that you're practicing, or that you want to learn with trading, you have to practice it. But you have to practice it correctly in order to get good at it. You're not going to be good at it the first time you do it out and understand it and do it perfectly from then on out. It takes time, guys. But man, traders, they become so impatient because, again, they can enter. They don't have to have a degree to trade in the market. So they think, I can do this, so whatever I think is fine. I'm entitled to my own opinion. That's the nonsense that spews out of everybody's mouths today, right? My God, if you just take a second and think of how silly that sounds. I have a right to my own opinion. What you say is, regardless of it's right or wrong, regardless of it causes my death, I have a right to it, and I'm going to hold. And it's not even that it's, I have a right to it. That's the problem. It's that it's the implication that I'm going to hold to it regardless. So if my opinion causes me death, so be it. YOLO, I'm done, right? Silliness. Anyway, guys, okay, so here's oil. So again, we projected that top up here at 130 and just right over 130, 130 and a half, right? I believe we've got 5 down. Now, I've told you guys before, I'm not a big fan of truncations, okay? I believe almost all the time, if you get a truncation, if you think you have a truncation, it's because you're just counting it wrong. There's another way to count it, right? In this particular case, I believe this is a truncation, and here's why. For a truncation, what you're looking for is a clear 5 waves off wave 4, okay? So in this case, we do have it in the form of an ending diagonal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And those 5 waves should end near the wave 3. It shouldn't be like way up here. It should end pretty close to wave 3. And it does. So those two things in mind, I think this is a truncated 5th wave here. Now, truncations of 5th waves often happen because your previous move has been so explosive, so strong. So again, we're talking about a movement. By the time we hit that 5th wave there, guys, we're talking about a decline in price of, at that 5th wave, of about 28% over the course of only, again, at the 5th wave there, of only 9 days. That's a huge drop in a very short bit of time. So, it makes sense it's maybe a truncation here. And if so, we've got A on the completion here. We've got B may be complete. I was looking for a little bit further back, maybe the S1 pivot, but it looks like we may be complete here. So breaking out above 103.22 may set the stage for a rally up in wave C, which you can look for an initial target in this 109 area here. 109 to 110, this high volume, hiccups there, high volume node. But, barring that, holding it back, we're looking for wave 2 to get up here around this wave 4 area. Right there around 114.88, that kind of area there. And so what we'll look for then is once we rally up and break out above way and head up here, we're looking for a breakdown below. If this swing low holds as wave B, then we'll look for a breakdown below that to say that wave 2 is done, wave 3 is in progress now, heading lower. All right? So, that's kind of where I'm looking at it right now. I don't see any reason to change that, regardless of the oil experts talking about possibility for $300 a barrel oil. I don't think the chart really says that. Not now, at least. Things could change. Again, if we get a rally way up here toward that 125, 130 area, well, at that point, you got to look at the possibility of at least maybe one more wave up. But, as long as we're getting this reversal in this area here especially, I think that just kind of says, yeah, we're headed lower there. Top's in for a bit. So, yeah. Which is fun if you're driving, right? High gas prices, man. Even here in Texas. It's crazy seeing them back up there almost $4. It's crazy. I remember last time we were up almost $4 there back. What was that, about 2004 or so? And I say $4 here in Texas. I'm not talking about California where you guys are probably at $9 or something. But I remember I was driving a diesel at that time. I had my dually. And I was paying, diesel was more expensive than gas. So gas was running about $4 a gallon at that time. And diesel was almost $5. So I know some of y'all over in Europe, I know that's not, you're like, oh my gosh, we're paying $9 a liter over here. I know. Here, where my money is being spent, it does make a significant difference from what it was. So, hey there, Chan Man. What's up, buddy? Bill says, on the subject of oil, prices hit, oh wait, now he's talking about, what is that, €2? God, my eyes are so messed up here. Per liter? That $10.80 per U.S. gallon. There we go, see? Over here, people are filling their wheeled garbage bins full of fuel and walking away with about 140 worth of fuel. Really? That's crazy. Don't you guys have laws about putting it in stuff like that? Unless I'm misunderstanding what you mean a wheeled garbage bin is. But I know, like, we can't, if you're talking about the, where you stick your trash in by the curb or something for the trash to come pick it up, it's against the law for us to put that in over here in the U.S. So I don't know. Maybe people really don't care over there considering how high prices keep going for y'all, right? So, yeah. It's not good. It's not good, man. Bitcoin Anarchist says, I don't trade and I never did get into stocks, but then I found Bitcoin and then Elliott Wave Theory. It's just fun to watch and guess while just holding. Yeah. Again, gives you a whole, it gives you some kind of point of reference, especially if you're newer. Understanding that, because when you first come in, if you don't know any better. And when things drop, you're like, oh my God, when is it ever going to end? Oh my God, am I going to lose everything here? And you panic sell, right? Or price starts rallying up and you FOMO in because, oh my God, what is it going to keep going? What if I miss out? I'm going to miss out all this money, right? Elliott Wave at least helps you understand the likely possibilities and helps you understand that, it is not a random walk. Quoting that book, right? The market is not random. The market is based on, it reflects social mood, which, because we're human beings, we tend to think and act in generally in recognizable ways that can be forecasted. And so that just translates into the market. Again, remember, what happens in the market is a product of social mood, not the other way around. People aren't, in general, buying and selling based on what the chart says. The chart is showing where their mood is at. And that's what's causing it to rise or fall. Now, yes, you're going to have some people knee-jerk reaction and, buying and selling on news events and stuff like that. But we're talking about the market as a whole. Your social mood determines what's going on with the market. And then some people try and play because they don't understand that. They try and do the news events, right? And whatnot else going on. So, but, again, when you think of social mood, we're talking about much larger time frames as well, right? We're not talking about 1 hour time frames or stuff like that. So, yeah. Data says around where he is, 1 gallon of diesel is above $13 and still rising daily. Oh my gosh, that's got to be awful for companies. And then they got to put those costs into you guys and their products and services and whatnot. They're in, what is that, Italy? 2.3 a liter is normal. It's 8.3 U.S. gallon. 8.3 a U.S. gallon. Yeah, I mean, you guys, you're always going to have that higher bid up there. Which, it's awful to think about, especially for us in the U.S. because we're used to having that lower price. So, when I talk about it, of course, it's more difficult for us here locally because we're used to those lower prices, right? We're used to paying that. You guys are used to paying the ridiculous prices that you're having to pay, unfortunately, over there. So, it kind of is what it is, right? Obviously, I never mean any disrespect to anybody living in another area where their prices are much higher. But, it's always, everything is relative, guys. I often talk about volume and price action being relative on the charts, right? But everything in life is relative. It's relative to you and your social circle. It's relative to you, your familial circle. It's relative to you and your locality, your municipality, your state, your country, your part of the world. I mean, everything is relative. Nothing is on its own out there. Everything is understood in degrees of relativity. So don't ever forget that. Don't ever forget that. How much of a cut does YouTube take from a super chat tip? Oh, gosh, I honestly don't even know. I think it's pretty bad. But it is what it is. I don't. I get somebody every once in a while that gives a tip like that. Most people don't though, so I don't pay a whole lot of attention to it. I appreciate them regardless, obviously. But yeah, platform is what it is. Does what it does. Wish I had a better answer for you, Oscar. White Rs 21 says, then when crude prices decline, none lower their price. Well, they should. It's somewhat, at least, anyway. But again, I don't live there, so I don't know how it all works over there exactly. I know here in the U.S. there is a lag. Prices, gas prices are not going to drop the minute oil drops. But I know that your gas stations, like here in the U.S., I know that they generally price their gas around what the competitors in the area are pricing theirs, regardless of what they're getting it at. So, if you're hanging around, if you've got like a Chevron station and a Valero and a, I don't know, Murphy station, usually at the Walmarts there. They're generally be around the same. Now, you're going to get some like Chevron or Exxon that are going to sometimes usually be about 8 or 10 cents above. And that's because, supposedly their gas is cleaner, better, whatever. I don't have any problem running Walmart gas. So it is what it is. But generally, those guys around there, those convenience stores on the corner usually are checking what the prices are to the other gas stations around them, and that's how they're pricing theirs. So interesting, Your guy there, Bill, he walked very casually away from the fuel pump and came back later and did the same thing. I like your description. He walked very casually away and came back later and did the same thing. Let's see here. Bitcoin Anarchist says in Australia over there, gas is about $2.20 to $2.80 for the Aussie, which is about $2 a liter USD. Yeah. It's always great seeing what you guys' prices are everywhere else. Because again, as much of a man of the world as I am, local gas and oil prices, in different countries is not something that I necessarily follow. So it's always good to hear about what's going on there and how those prices are sitting with you guys. We see here. Bill says that 58% of the price of the pump is government tax. The garage owners only gets 7 pence per liter. Yeah, well, and over here, I don't know how many U.S. residents understand, but, these convenience stores and everything that we have on the corner that sell the gasoline, they usually make, even when price is rising, they usually make very, very, very little profit on the gasoline. It's kind of the same thing as what Bill's saying there. Because of all the taxes and everything they have to pay, what they make their money on is the convenience store, especially those drink machines they have, where here in the U.S. we can buy a big gulp, for $1 or $1.50 or whatever. Oh man, but it cost them like 10 cents, 15 cents, something like that. Which is why you see them often offer the, you buy the mug there, the store branded mug, the 44 ounce mug, 64 ounce mug, and you can come back and get cheaper refills or something. Yeah, it's just kind of crazy the way it all works, right? In the U.S., we're having those huge cars, so the price difference might have the same impact. Well, I was telling you guys, I ran up to Houston. Again, we're looking to relocate there, so most every weekend I end up taking the drive out to Houston, stay the weekend, tour some homes and whatnot, looking for one to buy. I get about 13 and a half miles per gallon on my truck. And that's what I take. At $3.90 a gallon, it becomes kind of an expensive trip. I don't know that I can imagine doing it consistently on $8 or $10 or $13 a gallon. That would kind of suck. But yeah, bigger vehicles over here for sure. Though I'll tell you what, there is a strong push for electric vehicles over here. So you got, Tesla with its ugly Cybertruck, right? I'm sorry if you like it. It's an ugly truck, man. And then, you've got GMC. They have their EV platform now. And as you know, I put in an order for the Hummer, right? The Hummer EV. And then Ford came out last year, with its, I think it's called the Lightning. It's electric truck. And, it's got basically, you can power your house for a couple of days on it kind of idea. So, power goes out like it did here in Texas. During that winter mess last year, that ice mess, you'd still be able to power your home electric, which is kind of an interesting concept, kind of a great concept there. But there is, Chevy GMC did this really ugly truck version of its electric vehicles, and I am not a fan of that styling. But it's not as ugly as the Tesla Cybertruck, but pretty ugly nonetheless. So yeah. So EV is making its push here in the U.S. It is, and so I'm noticing more and more of the homes that I'm looking at have the Tesla battery hookup in there for your electric vehicle and everything. So that's kind of interesting to see coming out here now. I'd cry if I came to the UK and hired a big truck and had to fill it up with diesel, paying over $300 to fill the tank. Yeah, that wouldn't be good. That would suck. I'm going to be honest. Am I going to look at the Dow Jones? Would you like me to look at the Dow Jones? I can look at the Dow Jones. We'll say Dow Jones 3-time real quick there. I'm just having a little chat with you guys, enjoying the conversation. Let me see here. I'm feeling good today, guys. I hope you are as well. You know, fortunately for us, you know, we're over here not dealing with the whole thing, you know, that unfortunately Ukraine is dealing with right now and what's going on over there. So it's crazy times, right? The question is China going to jump in and help, or are they going to back off? China could lose a lot by jumping in and siding with Russia. But at the same time, they don't want to lose Russia in this whole East versus West thing. So China's in a very precarious position. The last thing they want to do is get shut out of the, you know, the world community there. You know, but if they did help them, you know, that it's not Russia, you know, it's China, which is much bigger, much larger trade impact and whatnot. So, yeah, you know, it's I think it's a delicate balancing act China has to do right now. Dow Jones, I've got Dow Jones working on a wave 2 here. I think we've got potentially a wave 3 up here at around the 70.5, right there around 34,753.40. And that would maybe give us a wave 5 up here at around 786, which is the 35,032 area. So that's what I've got here. I've got this as a large A, B as a triangle here, and then C working its way up for that. Yeah. Andrew, what's up, man? I did go over the DXY, buddy. Yes, sir. Bitcoin's anarchist, I can't even say it, says EVs are part of the Great Reset narrative. Man, yeah, that thing just keeps pointing out there, isn't it? DXY daily pendant forming. Let me see here, daily. You know, triangle possibly could be what's going on there. Again, if we're looking at this as being a wave 4, it is the possible. I don't have that at the moment. Right now, I've got it as a potential flat here, but it did stop prior to this wave A. So if we get an ABC up, ABC down, you know, A, B, C, D, E, we could get that triangle there and head up. Sure. In either case, whether this is a flat or a potential triangle, in either case, you know, the bottom should be in and heading higher, which means, you know, obviously your other thing should be kind of heading lower there against the dollar. The one trade I missed this week, I missed the large rally there off the yen. I could not get a handle on that count because it kept having these small little pullbacks along the way, and that thing had just moved this week. That was a great potential trade to be in and just kind of ride it up. USD against the yen. Did I see an interview on Real Vision? Pretty bad outlook post Russia Ukraine for wheat and global food. I didn't look at that. God, I'll tell you what, you know, there's so much stuff that I try and get, you know, put on my list of things that I want to watch and go over. And I just put in so many hours at TWC that I rarely have a chance to see it. But I'm going to check that out now that you mention it. Of course, we're talking about wheat and global food because of Ukraine and what's going on over there and their production of wheat and whatnot and how this all affects everything else in the world. Like I said, just a bunch of craziness going on. I've seen reports that Putin's aides would just as soon potentially take him out rather than give him bad news as far as what's going on with the you know, with that whole thing over there. You know, Russia saying, you know, he's on Russia propaganda on TV there saying, you know, oh, this is going great and we're doing all this great stuff. And the rest of us are out here watching him go, well, you're stalled and, you know, it looks like you're having a lot of trouble there. You know, I don't know. They're you know, in terms of what's going on, Ukraine's getting a lot of help from Western countries, not in terms of boots on the ground, but in terms of sending them supplies and you know, weapons of war kind of thing. But, you know, Russia, it seems, was planning to take over Kiev there, like, pretty quickly. You know, kind of like this blitzkrieg attack, take it all out, get into it, and they haven't yet. They're still advancing a bit, you know, for all the mistakes and fumbling they're doing, they're still advancing. But it's kind of interesting to watch from a theater of war kind of perspective, looking at there. So yeah, it's kind of, it's not an easy thing. You know, you got a lot of Americans going, oh, we should be over there doing all this stuff and whatever. But you know, there there's a lot of really bad implications that could come out of that. If you're talking World War III, I mean, and maybe maybe it's the beginning of it, maybe get involved, but I don't. I know the U.S. everybody's trying not to put boots on the ground there because of that implication. It could escalate very quickly. Now, when it comes to nuclear war, everybody's worried about that. I mean, personally, just based on my education and everything, I think Putin's probably trying to bluff on that. I don't think Putin wants a nuclear war of any kind. But if it were to happen, I'm really not sure that Russia would survive something like that. Not that the U.S. wouldn't take some big destruction and loss and whatnot, but I think the U.S. has a much more capable nuclear arsenal, precision, number of nukes, stuff like that. And the way that they've designed it, these nuke areas would be the targets generally, most likely from any kind of aggression toward us, and they've got them spread throughout the country. They got them stuck in more isolated areas. So if they are hit, then the fallout locally is not going to be, as if it were to New York City or something like that. It's an awful thing to think about, coming up as somebody who grew up during the Cold War. My parents were military, Navy. So I grew up in all of that, all the way up through, the first invasion of Iraq under the elder Bush, And so it's kind of crazy seeing all this, being talked about now. But if anything, it's lit a fire under NATO to get it more cohesive. And they seem to be pretty cohesive at the moment. So there is that. But, yeah, it's just a sad situation all around. Let me see here. Germany. Oh, yeah, Germany's the big thing. Taking a new stance on their whole military and whatnot as a result of all this because of their proximity to what's going on with Russia and its aggression outward, which Russia says is a response to NATO aggression up along its borders and whatnot. Either way, Germany really kind of stepping up with that surprise move and kind of really getting more out there. So, yeah. Let's see here. Bitcoin Anarchist says, with all these countries announcing they are sending weapons to Russia's enemy, does that somewhat justify Russia shooting one or more of those supply planes down? Russia's got to be really careful what it does. Because, in order for NATO to enter under its rules of what it has, certain things have to happen. And Russia's got to be really careful. I know it was just bombing a city there. Was it Lviv or whatever? There in Ukraine, right along the border of Poland. If you're striking in Poland, that's NATO ground right there. And, that kind of sets up the whole thing. But, NATO really doesn't want to get involved in that way either. Because, again, it risks this. I mean, it's a bad situation as it is over there in Ukraine. But it risks becoming a bad situation worldwide if NATO gets involved, right? Because then all of a sudden everybody's targets. And all of a sudden, what does China do then? Well, do they jump on, East versus West, jump in with Russia, and then do that? And then it becomes, again, huge war thing. I would rather not see that. I would prefer not to see that, guys. So, yeah. Let me see here. Did I comment earlier about the Fed meeting and the market's reaction to it? Pretty green last few days of stock market SPY. Yeah, just reactionary bounce. I don't think that has anything to do with the Fed meeting at all. I think it has to do with how far price had moved. We were looking for a bounce, and so we got it. Again, guys, I don't tend to put a whole lot of faith, or thought into the idea that news moves markets other than what they were already moving. Again, you get the knee-jerk reactions, but overall, price is going to do what it was going to do anyway. So, yeah. Let me see here. Is there an element of Germany being the previous bad guy and now they're overcompensating to be the good guy? I don't think so. I think it's just, I think Germany's response is just this idea that, well, Russia's right there, and so, we got to kind of really get serious about, Germany probably think we really got to get serious about what we're doing here, about our own, military protection, much more than what we've ever been, since, what happened previously. We're not going to go into that, but I think that's really where it's at. Yeah, I don't think Germany is that way. I think it really is. It has a lot more to do with the idea that they're concerned about if Russia's going to go ahead and advance over in Ukraine. We're just right over here. We need to go ahead and be sure that we're prepared, kind of think. Yeah. Let me see here. Blaze has been considering going back to school for a degree in economics as a practitioner. Any advice or thoughts on this, Chris? Hey, you know what? Here's the thing. As far as economics go, you're going to have two general courses of study, basically, okay? So most of economics today has become what's actually called econometrics, which is applying math to economics, okay? And they do this because this gives governments and those government institutions ways to really put hard numbers on trade that's going on, basically, right? And so then that allows them to create policy. I am not big on econometrics. I'm much bigger on the other side, the more the humanities side of it, which is, probably more along the lines of understanding in terms of Austrian economics or so. Something beyond just the mathematics of it. Because the mathematics can be twisted and fudged and whatever, and you can create new categories and new ways of looking at it to say the things you want it to say. Whereas if you actually study just the interaction between humans, I think that's the better way to go myself. But if you want to understand what government's numbers are and how they're coming about and things like that, you're going to want to take at least some econometrics type classes with that. Remember, economics is called the dismal science for a reason. People don't generally, want to deal with economics. I just happen to find it really interesting, just because I find people and their interaction very interesting. So yeah. Let me see here. You too, Andrew. Take care, buddy. Let me see here. So here's what we got going. I think TLT junk dipped a little bit further, so I've kind of adjusted the wave 2 here. Again, maybe an A, B, and working on a C here. Could potentially see it coming all the way back here to the S1 pivot, which would keep it just above the swing low over here at 1.24. Get you right up there about 1.25. But what we're looking for is a breakout above kind of this area right here, this 1.37. If we can get a breakout above that, I think that says, okay, wave 3 is in progress, then up there to around 1.6 or so, up in that area. Remember, TLT junk just kind of gives you an overall understanding of maybe if the market's risk off or risk on. You're plotting TLT, which is your long-term government securities. That's your safe bet, right? That's where people go when they're worried. And you're comparing that against your junk bonds, which is your corporate bonds, which is where people go when they're not worried, right? So if you see the TLT junk dropping like this, that is a risk-off environment. So people get into more risky stuff. They start getting more into junk bonds, less into TLT. If you see it rallying, then that says that they're actually concerned, and you're going to see them park more of their money in TLT rather than the corporate bonds, because they're concerned about the markets going down. Markets go down. Can your bonds, do they become worthless at some point, depending on what's going on? Can you get the full value for them? The stronger your paper, the better the company you have that corporate bond from, the better off you are. But it doesn't mean that the value of their paper is not going to go down. So you look for those. If you're going to get into if you're going to get into corporate debt, Your safest place to be are those big companies that are always, doing well, generally big behemoth companies that do well. You don't want to be in, some smaller company that's having trouble, right? So that's what we're kind of looking at here. So as long as it remains above that swing low at 1.24, we can still look for this to continue higher on that there. Let me see here. Yeah, I like the humanities side of economics much better, Blaze, for sure, personally. Like I said, I do understand a lot of the econometrics to it. I'm just not a big fan of using, of bending math. I mean, you're not really bending math. You're just using different ways of using math to create things that allow you to create policy that does what you want to do. So in other words, you're kind of molding everything to say what you needed to say so you can do what you want to do. And I'm, in government, I'm not a big fan of that, obviously. But, in government, you want to have that kind of control and power, right? So you can be able to supposedly make the economy do what you want it to do. Let me see here. Excuse me. I think somebody was asking for, what were you looking for here? Let me scroll back up through here. BT, huh? Let's see here. We can see what we've got here. Sorry, I always got to set these up so I know where I'm at with them. That way I know, where I'm at a year after it or something. All right. BT. Here we go. Oh, man, I like this. Right away, I saw this candle. I like that candle. Nice bullish engulfing on the weekly here. It looks like an ABC. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5 maybe. Yeah, so I mean, I think it looked like it may be bottomed here. You've got bullish divergence on the weekly here. Let me make sure here in just a minute. Let's get this set so I only see that on the weekly. Yeah, so you've got bullish divergence right here. Just going to get this channel drawn up here. Great 3 points on that same line there. That's good. Yeah, so I mean, how far has that pulled back so far? Maybe 50%? Yeah, right about there. Yeah, just about 50%. Yeah, I mean, I like that. I would say this is probably a 1, 2 right here. And so if so, then that gives us a minimum expected wave 3 at 55.92. And see here, that's there. Now remember, that's minimum expected. It could go higher than that, but that's the 1618 there. How else can we look at this? We can say, okay, well, this is A, B, C here. And so that means a breakout above wave B, just Elliott wave wise, talking about this count. That means we need to see a breakout above wave B here at, what is that? 20 and 74. And so getting above that should add confidence to the count and suggest that wave 3 is in its progress up there. Locally, let me see what we can do here. Might be able to look at a channel like this. This looks good. You take it off these these swing lows here. And, an impulsive breakout above the EQ here should give you a target of the channel resistance. Breakout of that channel resistance. Gives you a pattern target of about $9.80 or so above the point of breakout, which basically carries you up to this channel resistance. So again, much like the smaller one here, impulsive breakout above the larger channel EQ should give you a target of that larger channel resistance. And that'll give you a pattern target there of about $18 above the point of breakout on that. And so that gets you right up there around that wave 3. You know, generally we expect that wave 3 is going to overextend a bit, so we'll probably see it heading up there. Another way to look at it is looking at the weekly pivot. We've come in between it and the S1 way down here. So if we get a bullish, an impulsive breakout above that weekly pivot, and especially get above this wave B resistance here, we should run these pivots up here. So we should get at least 5 waves up through, 74.58 up there through that R5. So yeah, I think it probably looks pretty good at the moment here. This, like I said, it's a great bullish engulfing candle printing down here on the weekly. So yeah, might be a good, on the larger perspective there, a good time to go long. You had bullish divergence coming up over here as well. Yeah, probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. You got this ending diagonal type thing going on here. And we broke out above that resistance, so I think we're good to go. The daily pivot, if you want to wait a little bit, you can look for an impulsive breakout above the daily pivot, just a little bit higher here at $4.15 or so, $4.15. And that should give you added confidence in the fact that the bottom's probably in. We're heading up on that. So yeah. Hey, some risk. What's up, man? He says Fed officials have consistently stayed with failed models that they request someone to provide something better that's not too different than what they're currently using. Yeah. And with everybody that comes in, they all kind of change things around a bit. You know, you had Vlocker there who came back end of 70s, right there, 79 or so. And then you had Greenspan, came in the 90s. And each one of them, they kind of changed their tune about how they go about it. Volcker did something different back then than what we're doing today. We're chasing these. He was actually looking at the money supply itself, which is what he worked with. What's his name? Powell that's in today, is using those interest rates and short-term interest rates and stuff like that to kind of affect, the economy. So, different approaches by different people coming in. So we'll see how it all plays out. Yeah. Let's see here. What's going on, Common Mano? Good to see you, buddy. It is going well. I hope you're doing well also. Man, oh man. Anyway, guys, so that's kind of what we're looking at here, right? So we're looking to have this. There we go, breaking out above wave 1 here. We should be heading up toward wave 3 right there, 43,617 minimum target. If you're in Discord, obviously, guys, I will be updating you as price action moves through important levels and does important things. Again, guys, if you're with us, I update you at least 3 times a day, morning, noon, or morning, midday, and then evening. Late night sometimes. But if there's crazy price action going on in between that, I still update as well. So sometimes you might see 5, 6, 7 updates from me, just depending. Yeah, so Claudio, better late than never, man. Be careful on the road, but I'm about to get out of here. As always, man, I appreciate you guys showing up. I hope you guys have an amazing day, a fantastic weekend. Don't forget to always take a little bit of time away from the charts to reset. And no matter what you're doing here, guys, remember the most important part of being a trader, the most important thing you do on a daily basis is risk management. The only thing you control is how much you lose, okay? So please keep working on that. I keep, you guys, I know you want to do all this and learn all this, but I'm telling you right now, if you don't get risk management under control and figured out, it doesn't matter how well you do this, because emotionally you're not going to do what you need to do because of that risk management, okay? All right, guys. Y'all have a great day. Discord, I'll see you guys over there in just a bit. And I will be back on Tuesday, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. Don't forget, guys, if you'd like to join us or up your current time that you have with us, you can get your tier 3 biannual or annual for 50% off right now, our normal price. So that comes out to like somewhere $60, $70 a month on average, rather than a month of $199 on tier 3. So lots of stuff going on there. We'd love to have you there. Hopefully we'll see you. But again, if not, I'll be back on Tuesday. You guys have a great day. I'll take care.